Hi guys,
Hi.
welcome to another episode of I Got Problems.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for revisiting our, podcast. We appreciate it. For those of you who listen every week, thank you because you're like our biggest fans, basically. If you are listening for the first time and this is your first episode, make sure you take a listen to the rest of the episode. This episode might be a little serious, so we have much funnier and much kind of relaxed conversations. We have topics on fetishes, relationships, dating, paying for dates. It's all here. Just scroll a little down and you're not scrolling too far.
Yeah.
So you'll find it. So thanks in advance, and of course share with anyone who will listen. And if you have podcast friends, because I'm finding out lately that a lot of people have podcasts.
We out here, y'all.
I'm just sitting here like, every time I go somewhere, it's always like, oh, I have a podcast too, and I'm like, oh, tell me more. Like,
I think that was like the thing of 2020. People just got bored at home. Was like, I want to share my opinions.
yeah, pretty much. And I was looking for a perfect time, and being home in the pandemic was a perfect time to just start something. I mean, that's the LLC Twitter. Who are like,
Literally. I was one of them, not gonna lie.
If you're not doing anything, you need to start your own business, do blah, 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 blah. If you didn't, you're useless. That's LLC Twitter for you. But guys, you're not useless. It's perfectly okay to take a mental health day and just do what you need to do. Sometimes just checking stuff off your list is enough. You don't have to start a whole business. Okay, running a business is hard too.
Yes.
So we have one review we received from Theme Podcast, and it's a pretty long one, so I'll read half of it. It says, I've been listening to you all since day one, and love your podcast and the support you've given me. But on this one, I gotta disagree.
It's okay.
I think
disagreement.
He was like, I think everyone just has what they're attracted to. This was on our preferences and discrimination episode, and he goes, I think everyone has what they're attracted to, which becomes their preferences. The way like 99% of women have a preference for tall men, I would say like 99% of men like slim to medium-sized women. I would agree with that, but I also think it's societal standards.
Right.
He said, I would argue women are harsher in that a man cannot change his height. A woman can change her weight. Yeah, it seems to be done for saying I like slim or thicker. So so the conversation kind of goes on from there, and he does explain the whole colorism and how some things are controllable and not controllable. But I still stand by the fact that when you start to treat people negatively based on things that cannot change, that you're discriminating against them. And there are some things where people, like when we have the black videos where the black men will come out and say, oh, I don't like black women because blah 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 blah, and they speak all these negative things, and it's like nobody asked you. If you don't like black women, that's fine. Your preference is non-black women, so go for that. But when you come and start saying negative things,
then you literally make it our problem.
Exactly. So it starts to make us look bad, and then now we have to say something about it, and now it becomes like some internet war, and it's a whole thing. So I stand by what I said in terms of you discriminate on people when you treat them like trash, when you're prejudiced, when you start going above and beyond to make a point, when all you could just say is, I don't like this one thing, and that's that. Move on. That's all you have to do. So, and it goes into the workplace too. You're discriminated based on your color, based on your race, based on your hair. When you cannot get a job, you cannot start a life, you cannot move on in your future and your career. Then that's literally your entire life.
Your livelihood. Yeah.
So that stuff like that isn't fair. But we appreciate the comment and the sentiment. So please take a listen, and yes, let us know how you feel on every episode on the IG, on the Twitter, on the page. I mean, you can leave us voice message, I believe, on the podcast through Anchor. So talk to us, we talk back. So, and this episode this week is Church Hurt. And it's literally experiences people have had with basically being churchgoers and being Christian. And there are many different religions that can also relate to being church hurt. Because we're Christians, so it's church because we go to church. I mean, maybe if we went to mosque, we could be like mosque hurt or something.
Yeah. So I mean, we're speaking like because we're Christians from our experiences, but by all means, if you relate to it based on whatever religion that you are, Muslim, Hindu, whatever, please. Don't feel that we're excluding you because we're all involved in this.
We're not.
Some of us, have some kind of religion that we adhere to. So this is for everybody.
Yep, pretty much. So I will read some main pointers, and then I will let Annabelle read the facts, and then we'll discuss some things and our personal experiences with being both African and churchgoers, and also having super, I'm guessing, religious parents. Which is, I feel like it's a hand-in-hand thing. You have immigrant parents, and they tend to be super religious.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because they needed religion to get them through the tough times, or because it's just...
It's a practice. It's more like, oh, I grew up with it, so you have to grow up with it.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be a little forceful because you grow up into your own, you know, and you want to find who you are, and then you're kind of restricted because your family is like, no, you are, you know. I've seen a lot of Christians convert to Muslim and Muslims convert to Christians at a certain age. It's like they realize this religion is not really for me, so why have I been, you know, in this mix? And you realize, wait a minute, it's because my family parents, exactly. You don't really have a choice. Yeah. So what is church hurt? So church hurt, basically the term, it refers to pain. What the heck is this? Pain sometimes?
Is it pain sometimes inflicted by
so there's a space. Okay, hold on a second.
It's okay, you can start over.
All right. I was about to be like, I was really going to read it as one word. Okay, so what is church hurt? The term church hurt actually refers to pain that's sometimes inflicted by a religious institution, a pain that distances sufferers from their communities and from God. It's pretty much the reason why people tend to leave church. It's the reason I left 2 churches, actually, and we're going to discuss what are some things that you can do to overcome it. I'm struggling to figure that out myself, so I'll offer whatever insights I have, but honestly, I don't even know if I have answers. But reason why people leave, I can definitely speak from first experience of just being somebody who wants to believe in God or wants to keep believing in God and strengthen my faith, and then you end up in a church where that's not their priority. It's like they're African churches. Profit
ministry, where you have like pastors in the South like Creflo Dollar who has ATMs at his church and a non-tithers board.
And they have like
things like that.
Jets. They'd be like sponsors of pastors' jets. And it's like, where are you going? You gonna take me? Am I gonna be on that jet too?
Meanwhile, people are struggling. Their congregation is struggling to buy groceries.
And I've always felt some type of way when a pastor has a lot more than their own.
Joel Osteen, I'm calling you out. I don't care.
Oh my gosh, I will never forget the freaking hurricane.
Hurricane Harvey tore through Texas, and he's talking about, oh, my church is underwater. Meanwhile,
honestly, I don't even know what to say about. I was embarrassed for all Christians, and it really sucks because this is what makes people become atheists. This is what makes people say, forget it, I'm out. You can keep the church. This is not for me. But being a Christian, being a black Christian, a Nigerian Christian specifically, church was really focused on, if you're listening, you hear me, I would say shakara. It was focused on, shakara means like outdoing each other. It was basically focused on people dressing good to look good in church. You know, wearing their latest head tie, their newest outfit. I will never forget how many times my mom would always say, you're going to church, you have to pick the nicest outfit you got recently, because you have to go off and show it off in church. You're wearing this outfit because it looks nice. I'm like, I can wear this outfit literally anywhere, but nowhere was as important as church. Nowhere. You are wearing this nice outfit. Even and Easter Sunday, the biggest day of them all in the church.
I mean, I feel like Easter Sunday is the exception. Like, let's be honest. Easter Sunday, you gotta come in your best. But I definitely totally relate, because I don't know what it is. It'll always be some African girls that would post like their Sunday outfit and have a Bible verse at the top of the post. Why? What is the reason?
There was a time when Instagram used to be filled with...
What was the reason? I'm on my Cardi B. I really don't understand.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating and sad because I really want to... It's like I found myself actually teaching myself how to stay within, like, you know, the community without the help of the community. It sucks because it's like, I want to go to church. Yes, broken people go to church. Hurt people go to church. Pain, toxic people go to church. We're going to church to get better. Church is filled with a lot of broken people.
Absolutely.
You cannot go to church and think that you're going to walk out of there perfect. You walk in there and it's a continuous like work you have to keep doing on yourself.
God doesn't require anybody to be perfect.
Exactly.
So, yeah, church is a hospital.
It really pains me when you walk into an African church, because that's my experience specifically, and they look at you like you're out of place. Like, excuse me, if I was to wear jeans to church, to an African church, and I will call out Redeemed Church, yes, because everybody knows this. In fact, there are so many standing jokes that are being made about the Redeemed Church.
Oh my gosh, really? I have to see these.
Yes, and it's like literally, there are times when I've seen stuff on Twitter about just like, oh, something, what church is this? People like, Redeemed, the first comment, Redeemed. And I'm like, oh, you know, like, I don't even know what to say because I can totally relate. And it sucks because Redeemed, honestly, from my experiences of going to 2 Redeemed churches, a lot of them are focused on the tithing.
Of course.
The money, the offerings, the cash.
And it's not even one. One is offering. One is for building services. One is for the food. Like,
I promise you, the church I used to
you go around the tithing table like 5 times in one service.
Baskets. The church I used to
go
to, they had
you tithe for the day that you were born. Wednesday born, so your turn to tithe.
Whoever's listening to this who went to my church, I apologize. But this is literally my experience, and you know I'm not lying. They have Operation Nehemiah. You know what Operation Nehemiah is? Building church fund. That's a separate fund. They have tithing, separate fund. Offering, separate fund. Special fund for the preacher who was specially preaching that day.
Do we ask him to come?
That's 4 different funds. 1 8-hour Sunday service.
Yo.
So your Sunday service starts at 7:30 a.m. You go in there for Bible study. Bible study ends at 8. You start praise and worship 8:30 to 9:30. That's done. Preacher comes to preach between 9 to 12. Some special choir, whatever, happens between 9 and 12.
And
between 12 and 2, they don't feed you lunch. Between 12 and 2, you have the special preacher come. Then the rest of the service, they're collecting money for everyone.
Unless he get his communion.
So you're there from literally 7 to 3. It's literally like I go to school Monday through Friday, then I go to church on Sunday, Monday. Like, when do I get a break? I go to church so I can feel at peace, so I can feel like I have a community.
An escape from the world. That's how it should be.
Exactly. I don't want to feel like I'm being hounded. And some people avoid church. Like, people till today will do church online because they don't. The church is really great for community when it's done right.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
you don't need a place where people are.
Shout out to Calvary Chapel, Breath of Life. Hey.
I don't know what church that is, but
it's okay. African American church.
Actually, now I can actually shout out the Tabernacle Church of Laurel too. I guess since we're doing church shout outs. Tabernacle Church of Laurel. They're actually really good. They have like a mixture of everybody, and I like that.
Yeah, my congregation could cook. That's all I have to do.
Oh yes, and
the food. Yes. Oh my God.
Now I don't know about pandemic.
Oh my God.
They used to have the little. Like,
I know. Once the pandemic is over, like I'm gonna get it in. I don't care.
I tried Asian food, Ethiopian food,
how do we get to this conversation?
Nigerian food. Yeah, but like when you have a church that's all like within community, even this church, they'd be like, you can tithe online, but literally it's tithe and offering. That's it. And it's at the same time every Sunday, no pressure, no stress. You don't have to come out. You can do it online. There's
my
no like.
pastor even said, give what you can, give what's on your heart, what God lays on your heart, and that's it.
Bruh, at the Redeemed Church.
But they be begging you, come on, you can't get more, you can't get more. At the African, you know you have more than. Clearly, I don't. I have to eat too. I'm sorry, we're making jokes, but it's real.
I remember a time, actually I remember multiple times, my mom she was an usher, which is funny because we're talking about how ushers would have cleared out the Capitol more than, an usher wouldn't have let you in the Capitol, okay? Like if you go to a black church, an usher would have been like,
nah.
They're not playing games with you, but when I was in the Redeemed Church, there was many a times when literally the pastor would be like, okay, we're collecting money for this fund, right? Whatever the fund was for that month. It would be, okay, they would not start saying, Uncle Joseph, you just said you get a new job, right? So yeah, now come to the front. Uncle Thomas, come on now, God has blessed you. God has blessed you already. Yeah, come. And then at one point she would call me out. She was like, Sandra, this is just graduate college. I had just graduated Harvard University. This just graduate. You are blessed with a job in Jesus' name. Yeah, come to the front. I was like,
to do what? I don't have a job yet.
She would call my mom out. She would call everybody's parents out like, Deacon Joseph, Deacon this, Deacon that. Oh yeah, now you are deaconess. Come and make an example. Come and stand in the front. They'll be like, $1,000 now. It's just 1,000. Come on, 1,000. Oh yeah.
What?
They'll be like,
they won't even give us 1,000 stimulus.
They will now reduce to 500. Okay. If 100 people come out and you give 100, come on, we already reach our goal. Oh yeah, come on, sir. Okay, $50. Okay. And they'll just keep dropping it and dropping. Then, okay, bring what you have.
That should have been where you began. Anywho, but yeah, I can relate. Like, look, we got stories for days, but I'll try to keep mine short. There was a few times at my grandma's church. I'm not gonna say the name because I still know people there. So basically, they had all-nighter, which is like a whole teenage thing, you know, just to have fun and hang out or whatever. There's a couple times that there was a youth pastor. I went twice. The first year around, there was a youth pastor that, you know, was, I guess, trying to get to know me, ask questions about me and my life, not knowing that he was planning to use the information he found out about me in a sermon the next day.
Oh.
Yeah. So
did he say your name?
He didn't say my name, no. No, but still, like, come on, it's something personal.
You know that it was about you, but it sucks because he'll probably use it as like, I was led, like spiritual shit.
Like you knew that based on asking me questions that was your intent. So for me, I was offended, and not only did it happen once, it happened again a second time. I don't remember exactly what information or what he said the second time around. But I guess it was based off something I had done the night before. Because it was like Friday and Saturday night was the sleepover or whatever. And then we would stay over until that Sunday morning when people would come. And then, that would be the church service.
Oh, so, the night vigil into the... Like a vigil?
Not so much a vigil. So it would just be the teenagers staying from Friday to Saturday, and they would stay there till Sunday morning, get ready at the actual place, because they had like showers and bedrooms upstairs and stuff like that. And then the what's it called? Congregation, whatever, was downstairs in the basement.
It's a different church.
Yeah, it was different. And so maybe it was something he observed of me. I don't remember. This was like over a decade ago. And he mentioned something about me again. And this time my mom was pissed. She was like, I'm going to talk to him. She didn't, of course. But it's like things like that. Why make my personal life an example? You know what I mean? It's one thing to make an example of somebody who doesn't go to the church.
Right.
Or if you wanted to preach a sermon, you don't even have to use people as
like
an example.
Like
that kind of tells me about your lack of skills about preaching to me. Anyway, so that was something that happened to me.
He really needed something to talk about.
I don't know why he was so obsessed with me. I mean, I don't blame him. But like,
what? You were of age at that point?
No.
Oh no.
No, I was like a teenager, like maybe 16, 17. I definitely was not 18 because I didn't hit 18 until I got to college, and this was when I was in high school. So
yeah, and I hate the fact that there's with the whole priest thing and the popes and the sexual assaults that happen with Catholics. It sucks because it's kind of like gravitating into like everybody else's Christian life, because yes, they're pretty much one of the largest Christian groups in the world. So when you have that kind of negative connotation attached to you, it makes every other Christian look bad, regardless if I'm Catholic or not. So there's always people who choose not to be Christian simply because they're like, well, look at that church. They're raping kids. Why would I want to be a Christian? Look at that church. All they ask for is money. Why would I want to be part of that?
Yeah.
And look at that church. They don't care if I show up.
And these little Trump supporters are not making it any better. I really don't feel like in their hearts that they're really truly Christians, because if you knew anything of the Bible, it says love your brother, and you're not doing that.
They do everything in the opposite. I really don't understand. How can you do all these things and then say you love God? What Bible are you reading?
I don't know. I can't understand it.
What Bible will say for you to invade the Capitol?
Well, they will use that story about Jesus going in the church or what was it? Temple and flipping the tables and stuff like that. To justify their situation. It's not the same. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
They firmly believe that Trump lost because something went wrong, not because he actually lost. So because of that, they were gonna stick to that story and then use that to further their agenda. And it's so tiring. I'm tired of these people.
Over it. Anywho, let's get into some facts. So, 23% of pastors deal with mental illness. Not much of a surprise there. And 35% of Americans believe Bible study cures mental illness.
Yeah, because they tell you to go to church. You say you have a problem, you're depressed, they tell you to go pray.
I remember growing up talking to my mom about situations at school, about me getting bullied and stuff like that. Oh, just ignore it and pray about it.
I could never even tell my parents about it.
Yeah, praying about it's cool, don't get me wrong.
My parents treated my sister like trash when she said she was being bullied. There was a point when they actually came to our house to like try to fight her. And we had to chase them away, to the point that she chose not to graduate. Like, she chose not to walk on stage because she was that like, she had so many like people against her. And I guess she stood up for herself. Yeah. But she was just like, I'm not taking this.
Overwhelmed. Like,
it's
everybody against
her. And she didn't do well in school because she was overwhelmed with the people constantly. And it was Reservoir, because she also went to Reservoir.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, Reservoir is a racist ass school. Yes, I'm calling y'all out. I don't care. Come for me. I graduated. What's
and my parents were like, it's your fault. You started this problem. Wow. And if you had done better in school, you would be able to get better grades. And if you had focused on your schools and not making friends, you would blah, blah, blah. Because they didn't understand what the idea of bullying is. They can't relate. Because I don't even know. I
feel bad for her. I wish I could give her a hug right now. That's so depressing.
And she still has to deal with that memory and all that stuff. But she had to I was like, why would you not walk? It's like, I don't like anybody in that school. Why do I want to walk on stage and smile in their faces? Like, I don't care. So she was like, just send me my diploma. Like,
is this the one I know about?
Yeah, from the trip.
Oh, poor thing.
So, and my parents didn't make it any better by, hounding her, making her feel like it was her fault for other people treating her badly in school. Like, don't you see how that can weigh a child down? Because African parents, for some reason, do not understand.
Not only do you have to suffer it at school, you have to also suffer it at home.
They don't understand the idea of mental health, and they do not understand the idea of like emotional well-being for young adults. Because they don't deal with their emotional well-being. Yeah. They don't even go to therapy themselves. So how can you help your child get help?
I definitely think we should delve into this more, like on a separate episode, because I feel like this is a much bigger topic.
Like Africans in therapy or something, or
or just like school and bullying, and we'll get into it. But look out for that in a future episode, because of course we've been through it, we've experienced it as well. We also know other people have gone through it. So if you experience bullying, which I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you have, just know that you're not alone, because we have stories, and we'll also tell you how we've gotten past it as well. But moving on to church hurt. Also, every year about 2.7 million church members drop from church membership. That's a lot of people. One of the main reasons is attributed to leaving as hurt and wounded victims after experiencing some form of abuse, disillusionment or gaslighting, or from feelings of abandonment or neglect. That sucks. Because you're supposed to go to church to get help. You're supposed to go to church for support, for community, for somewhere. So most people are going to church because it's their last resort. And so you go to church and then people treat you like shit while you're there, or they don't even acknowledge you at all. Yeah. Or they look at you like you're out of place, you know? God forbid you wear the wrong thing. Wrong outfit. And it's like, oh, what is she doing here? Is she lost? Is she in the wrong place? Oh my God. And it's like, is this not church? Right. What did I miss? So it sucks that that's reality now, but I appreciate the churches where you can walk in and they'll smile right in your face, just like they're supposed to for every single person who walks in the door, no matter what you're wearing. But in African church though, I can't speak for that, because I have been in multiple African churches, and if you do not, like literally there are times when it's like, if I'm out of laundry, I can't go to church. If all my good clothes, quote unquote, are dirty, I can't go to church, because I cannot be an excuse to skip. For real. Like, I can't show my knees, my legs, my dress is too high, I have to wear a jacket. Even until now, my mom is still stuck on that. If I'm going outside with a tank top, she's like, are you not gonna wear a jacket? Are you not 28 years old? Doesn't matter. If I'm going, even now, I've been without this bra life for like how many years now? My no bra life is not changing, and she's still like, you should probably wear a bra. But my mom is stuck on this mindset of just like, well, you know, old people mindset and old baby boomers, and you know where she was from and how she was raised, stuck on the mindset of I control what the guy does to me, kind of like backwards. Yeah, like if he's looking at me, it's my fault. I could be in sweatpants, and this literally happened in middle school. And a family member told me, oh, they're looking at your behind because you be wearing tight pants. I wear sweatpants most of the time, because freshman year in high school anyway, I didn't wear a lot of jeans. I was mainly like a sweatpants girl because I couldn't find pants in my size. Like, I'm a little thick at the bottom. I don't know if y'all seen pictures of me, but follow me, MsJudy_1028 on Instagram if you really want to see what I look like. But like, yeah, I was wearing sweatpants, and then I was, you know, telling that family member, like, I keep getting a lot of stares. Like, this is a new experience for me. I'm in high school. I have a lot of older, like, you know, going to school with a lot of older guys. And he's like, yeah, it's because you wear tight pants. I don't like, it's your fault. Like, if I also had this conversation with my, once again, toxic father, who said that he said he was at work. They were having a training, and it was like a classroom. He was telling my mom, the audacity. He was telling my mom, you know, there's this one girl who comes in there, and her butt is really big, and she's always waving her butt around in the room. So should she not walk? Bro, he was like, she's doing it on purpose because she sees all these men in the room, and she's walking around with tight pants like that. If you know your butt is big, why are you walking around like that? My mom was like, so you cannot just not look at the butt. My dad was like, how can I control what I'm looking at? Of all places in the room to look. He literally says he can't control. You mean like this? Yeah. He says he can't control where his eyes go because if her butt is so big, his eyes automatically gravitate to her butt. So by default, it's her problem and her decision to now change her clothing to suit him and all the other men in the room. How about this? I'm gonna make a suggestion. Look. If you have that concern about women's tight pants, tight clothes, loose fitting, whatever, showing too much, buy her some motherfucking clothes. End of story. If you're not willing to do that, please shut the fuck up. And these are the same men that go to church, the same men you will see praising God, oh, single, hallelujah in church all the time, but then they go out in public to work, and all they can do is chastise a woman and act misogynistic. It's like,
what do you want from us? What are we supposed to do? So in your perfect world, I would just dress like a nun and just for your looks. In fact, not for your looks, because you don't want me. You have a wife, you have whatever. You just don't want to have to be caught doing something you shouldn't be doing, because apparently that's my fault. If you make a mistake, let's say you cheat on your wife or whatever because you were staring at another woman and, oh my God, you lost the ability to make your own choices. It was her fault. It was her fault for dressing wrongly, because I wouldn't have done that if she had dressed accordingly. If she wasn't showing her butt, I wouldn't have been tempted. That's basically what you're saying. So how are we as Christian women supposed to even relate to that? Like, you're saying two things.
Some of us would want assets we didn't ask for, literally, okay? Like, and there's only so much I can do. There's only so many kinds of pants that can fit me. Fashion Nova is like my only chance at this point. My only option at this point. Like, give us a break, okay?
If you were to wear it and you're a thicker woman, no matter what you wear, you'll still be thick through your clothes.
Yes.
Like, and I don't know if you saw that thing on Twitter where that was that one thick woman who wore the and they actually the students' parents were actually trying to get her fired because they thought her dress was too.
I think I saw that.
It was a black woman and she was wearing this nice body fitting. Yeah. And they said that that's not the kind of image that should be. I'm like, so she should change her body. So she should just not be a teacher to your kids. What do you want? Because she can't go kill herself and come back as a different person. That's not gonna happen. This is the body that she was given, so you can't treat her like shit because of that. Like, I don't understand that mentality. And these people call themselves Christian. These people call themselves mostly Republicans. And it's really frustrating because what side are you on? It really pushes a lot of people from the world of Christianity, from the world of just church and just spirituality, when you are saying one thing and doing the complete opposite. Same thing for abortion clinics. How can you say that you don't support abortion because the Bible says no, but when the baby comes out, you're blind. You
don't want to help.
You ain't got nothing. You
look down on the poor and the needy. Meanwhile, this woman who was forced to have this child is the poor and needy.
Are you a Christian? Are you really a Christian?
Get it together.
Like, come on. They're not asking for much. If you want me to have this kid, sure. But are you gonna help me when I drop the baby? Now you're blind. Now you're lost. Now you're like, oh, I can't relate. Oh, no. And then now they even give you shit for getting help, for giving government assistance. How?
Everybody's on government assistance at this point. Thanks, Corona. Yeah. Like, that's one thing I never really understood is the pickiness of women's clothes in the church. I mean, I get it. There's certain clothes that you shouldn't wear, but
scarred.
People can't change how their body was built.
Even when I go to church now, when I go to an African church, I can't wear a dress above my knee. If it's above my knee, I have to change. I feel uncomfortable. Like, I'll just go wear pants. Like, I just feel like they're going to be staring at me. One time, this lady told me to go put pantyhose on because my knees were showing.
So where are you supposed to get it from? I
had to go back home because I live in Laurel. My mom told me to go back home and get the pantyhose. Because I was in the choir, so I couldn't be on stage without pantyhose because they didn't want my knees showing. So
somebody would look at your knees and get horny.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Like, we're talking a lot of BS, but keep in mind, this is not all churches we're referring to. It's just certain churches and certain mindsets that we have to deal with. Excuse me. So that takes me kind of to my next point. Nearly 40% of Americans between 18 and 29 have no particular religious affiliation. I also count myself with that too because I'm non-denominational. That doesn't mean that they don't believe in God, but they don't follow a set denomination. Also, there has been a drop from 42% in 2008 to 37% in 2017 for regular attendees as well.
Well, yeah, and definitely this year it did not help. Last year did not help.
I think it's like once even churches open back up, it's going to be even lower.
It's not going to be
because people are not acclimated to the online church thing. I still can't do it. Felt like I'm yearning for the day when I can go back and hug my church family because I miss them. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's gonna definitely drop due to quarantine and corona for sure.
Because now you can definitely do it online and you're perfectly fine. So it's like, what's the rush to go to church?
Right.
But yeah, do we want to ask any questions? Or?
Yeah, we can do one.
Okay, let's see. Well, I'd ask one. Sure. Do you believe that as Christians that we actually need the church as far as like going to a physical location?
That's hard.
Yeah.
I think we do, only because it's the same reason like people who are in prison like want to see people outside. It's like you need community, you need people, you need presence. You can do most things by yourself, sure.
Right.
You can do most things over the phone but sometimes actual physical touch.
Yeah, losing that personal touch definitely
it makes a difference for a lot of people.
Makes it weird.
Exactly. That's why a lot of people actually fell into depression during Corona, or early on during Corona, because you drastically lost
that human connection.
So I think, yeah, going to church, but you have to go to the right place, because sometimes going to the wrong place will make your situation even worse. Now you go to the wrong church, you're seeing them in person, and they're making you feel like, damn, I didn't want to come back here. So you have to find the right church for you. Absolutely. And don't be like a church hopper either. You don't want to go through 10, 20 churches. Stick through a church, see how it works. Actually make efforts. Yeah. Don't just sit in the audience and think it's just, you know, you have to actually communicate with people and let them know that you're interested in being part of the community. And then if they don't bring you into the community, then you know that's not for you. And you can dip. But yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions that I have. Well, do we have time for one more?
Sure, we can do one more.
Okay. So how would you encourage others who have strayed away from the faith to come back?
Dang.
No, this was a tough one. I think I'll go ahead and start off the answer. Personally, I'm not the best example of Christianity. I swear like a sailor, y'all know this, okay? However, I would definitely pray with them and encourage them to find a church home that they do like. Church hopping is, like she said, I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, in order to find that church home that you need, you will have to at some point. Definitely go online. There's a lot of church websites that have like bylaws and what they're about. So, I mean, of course you won't really know until you visit, because a lot of churches nowadays just want more members because that means more tithes for them. But definitely seek prayer. I feel like if you have that spiritual connection with God, He will reveal to you which church you should go to, which one you should find as your home. So that's what I would recommend.
Well, on top of what she said, I think the beginning stages, if you lose faith or if you lose the motivation to actually, you know, try anymore religiously, I think one thing you should probably start off with is getting a religious mentor. Getting somebody who you look up to religiously. Sometimes it could just be literally a video on YouTube or a pastor on YouTube that you like watching, and you don't have to physically know somebody who's religious and blah, blah. But if you do know somebody who's religious, talk to them, let them know, you know, what you're trying to do or your feelings or why you can't seem to find your way back, and hopefully that person does lead you in the right direction and doesn't make things worse for you, and actually speak positivity and tell you what you need to hear or need to know. And then from then on, I think that'd be enough motivation to give you the boost you need to walk into a church. And then when you walk into a church, then what you said, you find what works and what doesn't work, because not all churches are for everyone. So don't stick around in the churches, because that's how I ended up leaving my Redeemed church, when I started to realize
I need to learn more about this. I'm intrigued now. I want to know more.
I mean, that's also what led to the BCF thing, and that's a whole different topic. But like they have this mindset that kind of pushes you more left and right. And what sucks is you have all these older preachers who don't see that the future is the younger generation, so they don't really focus on trying to speak to us. So then we end up
on our level.
Yeah, they're not on our level. So then that's why I relate more to preachers who are around my age, who are like early 30s or whatever, because I can be like, you know what, you are talking to me right now, because I can totally relate, because your experiences are very close to mine. But somebody who's 60, different era, different generation, different mindset, everything. So it's like I can't relate. And then they want to try to tell you what to do, and you're like, you don't even know what I'm going through. You don't even know half the stuff that I have to deal with on my level this day and age. Like,
and
come on.
Let's not mention also the racial disparities as well. A lot of church leaders, when I was going to college, are older white folks, so they don't know what I'm going through. You know, as a young
black folks don't even know how to relate, because most of the older black folks that I deal with are more Nigerian and more African,
traditional.
So, exactly. So they're actually coming from Nigeria here, so they can't even relate fully to the racism in America, because they came
American culture.
Exactly. They spent over half of their lives in Nigeria, and they come here, and then it's like now they're just living normally. They don't really have to deal with racism as much. But we're in the midst of everything. We're actively, mostly trying to acclimate ourselves, and we're enduring a lot of stuff that they can't relate to. So how can you tell me or preach to me about stuff you don't even know about or can't relate to? Or even want to listen to be honest. They don't. You want to explain something, they're like, they're already trying to
They're stuck in their ways.
Exactly. So it doesn't, I just don't bother. But yeah, I mean, that's my advice. Find somebody who you can relate to, tell them, and then find a church, and then start from there, and then talk to the pastor. Let them know your goals. Because when you let a church who cares about you know, the churches want you to be involved.
Of course.
They want you to partake. That's the whole
community.
In the church. The community in the church is what keeps the church going. Churches don't just stay on their own by themselves with no help. So I definitely recommend, talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, that's good advice actually. I like that.
So yeah, that's I think that's it, right?
That's it.
Okay, so the resources are, of course, Support Black Lives Matter, Mental health resource will be listed later. Primary care physician, BetterHelp, employee assistance programs, therapyforblackgirls.com. We got information from the Washington Post, reachrightstudios.com, which has church statistics, and UHS something.com.
10 things. It's basically we got our mental health tips, which I'm about to get into right now. So, the mental health tip of the week is to quiet your mind. Try meditating, mindfulness, and or prayer. Relaxation exercises and prayer can improve your state of mind and outlook on life. In fact, research shows that meditation may help you feel calm and enhance. What are you doing right now? One thing, oh gosh, what's the name of that freaking meditation thing? It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you'll see it. It's a whole new thing that just came on Netflix that helps people meditate. Watch it, follow it, let it help you out. Meditation will definitely get you to that level mentally where you need to be to focus and just get things done.
Yeah, I want to practice all of those things this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming to another episode. And make sure you, of course, subscribe so you can know when the next episodes come out. Share with your friends and family because they won't know about us unless you tell them. We are doing what we can to tell people, but definitely helps if you guys word of mouth. You know, the quickest way to spread news is to tell people about it. If you enjoy the episode, share it. If you think somebody could relate to the episode who also feels the same way,
everybody can
share this episode. If you're struggling with your religious faith and all that stuff, share the episode. It might be the boost they need to, move forward. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you. I hope we were able to solve one of your problems today.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.